Okay, so here we have a key to the woody plants. And by keys we mean set of characteristics of plants, woody plants, plants with a woody tissue. We're talking about trees, all right, not herbs or garden flowers or anything like that. Set of characteristics that are listed in a dichotomous fashion, which means you get two options. You read something, some sort of characteristic, it's either this or it's that, and you pick one or the other, and so on. Each option either takes you to a species or it takes you to more options, and eventually you get to the species, hopefully, that you are trying to key out. Okay, so this is the newer version. It's a little bit too complex for a beginner. And so for that reason, I like to use this one. It's the same book, this is just an older version. Yeah. Muncher's Keys to the Woody Plants. You can get this cheap, by the way, you can get this cheap on eBay or something. All right, so let me show you what I was talking about. All right, here's keys to the genera. And then further on in the book, you have the keys to the species. Once you key it down to a specific genus, you can go ahead and try to key it out to a specific species. And it starts out very simple. You have a plant with leaves. If yes, you follow one of these. If you don't have a plant with leaves, here it is, plants with leaves absent. So this is kind of the key that you would use in the winter time when there aren't any leaves out. But now it's still August, the last day of August, and we can use this. All right. If your plant has needle-like, scale-like, or all-like leaves, all shaped leaves, then you're probably talking about a gymnosperm, a non-flowering plant. Otherwise, you have this. These are usually the flowering plants. And there are some terms that you got to get used to, right? What's the arrangement of the leaves? Is it opposite? Are they whorled? So are they opposite or whorled? In other words, do all the leaves come out at the same node? Either opposing each other or creating like a circle? Or the other option is, are the leaves alternate? So do you have one leaf here, one leaf there, one leaf here, one leaf there on the stem, on the axis of the plant? Then it asks you, is it, for each one of the two options, it asks you, are the leaves simple or compound? And if you don't know, the book has pictures of these things. All right, so here, for example, this is an example of an opposite leaf. This is one leaf, and you can see at the node where the leaves are coming out, there's an opposite little leaf stem. Same thing here. This one's alternate, one here, one up there. Alternate, here, there, there. Okay. And then it was asking, are the leaves simple or compound? Well, these are compound leaves. You have a little bud there, which defines the leaf, and then the rachis, or the stem of the leaf, the midvein, gives rise to little leaflets. That's a compound leaf. Here's another one. Okay, so the little bud is there. You see that little thing that they drew? Okay. If this is also a compound. Okay, this is a simple leaf here. Just one leaf blade that's available to that plant. Okay. You also have to be wary. All right. Is the leaf pinnate like this, where you have one mid vein and little veins, secondary veins coming off the main primary vein, or do you have something like this, which is palmate? All right, now this happens to be dissected. This is not the best example of palmate leaf. Let's see if we can have another option. Okay. Here's a palmate leaf. You have multiple main veins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the secondary veins are coming off of those. This is pinnate, but lobed. All right, this is also palmate. This is pinnate, one mid-vein. Okay. And there's lots of things to consider as well. All right, we're going to try to key out some trees right now. And we're going to use all the characteristics that you see here, and we'll explain them as we go. Here, see this? This is a good example of alternate. One there, one there, one there. This is opposite. This is whorled. Okay, you have the node, the internode. Here's another node. The bud is right there. Sometimes you have little stipules, little tiny leaves. Or leaf-like bracts at the base of the true leaf. Remember, true leaves have that bud, have a bud. Okay. Squirrels are going to town with the black walnut. This is the what's left of the husk. Anyway, so here I am on Queens College campus and potentially exposing myself to the virus for the love of the botany. But we're going to key out this couple of trees. We're going to start out with this ash tree. All right, I'm going to give you the answer before we key it out. One of the things that you can use, one characteristic that you can use to key out an ash tree, well, not to key it out, but to recognize it out in the street, is this kind of like a diamond-shaped bark. Yeah, diamond-shaped bark pattern. All right, and I was thinking to myself, oh, gee, how am I gonna do this? I can't reach any of those branches. Well, ask and you shall receive. Turns out there must have been some sort of storm. Okay, so we're going to key this one out. Okay. One of the first things you'll notice, look at that, opposite branching, opposite leaves. Here's the little bud I was telling you about, right there. Okay, it's not a hidden bud right there, so it has a bud at the end, terminal. And we have axillary growth, axillary buds, terminal bud. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so like I was saying, we start out here, right? Plants with leaves present. I would say so, yeah. Plants with needle-like, these are not needle-like, these are broad leaves. So you go here, plants with broad leaves. Leaves opposite or whorled. And I was showing you already, these are opposite. Are the leaves simple or compound? Remember, this is the spot that defines the leaf. That means this is a leaf. All right, this is not a leaf. This is a leaflet. But the whole thing, the whole structure, that's one leaf because of the presence of that bud. All right, so in other words, we have a compound leaf. Plants with broad leaves, we have compound leaf. Opposite, not alternate, opposite compound leaves. Key number 3, we skip to page 12, so we don't have to deal with any of this stuff. You see how, you're getting the idea how a dichotomous key works? Okay. Okay, so that takes us to key number 3, plants with opposite compound leaves. Leaves with 3 or fewer leaflets. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Absolutely not. We skipped the second option for the letter I, or Roman number 1. Leaves with more than 3 leaflets. Leaves palmately or pinnately compound. Look at this. This is pinnately compound. You have one major axis and then branching, opposite branching. All right, take a look in the back again of the book. See, that's the beauty of this book. If you don't know what they're talking about, take a look over here. Hey, what do you want? I'm not going to give you anything, all right? Leave. Okay, now. See? Number 6. This is a pinnately compound. Wait for this airplane to pass. Okay. Here is the pinnately compound example. Here's a palmately. See, it's not too different. This is pinnate, this is compound. It's just this is the same, except this is dissected, so that you have little leaflets and rather than just lobes. Same thing here. You have little leaflets in the same arrangement as the veins here. Okay? So going back to this key. Okay. Leaves with more than 3 leaflets. Leaves palmately compound or leaves pinnately compound? We're going to go with pinnately. All right? Take a look. This is one mid-axis and then opposite leaflets. So whether they're opposite or not has nothing to do with it being pinnate. Okay. Leaves pinnately compound. Stems climbing with aerial rootlets, vines. This is not a vine. All right, I was showing it to you before. Not a vine. Okay. Therefore, we go to the next 6. Stems not climbing. Erect trees or shrubs. Yeah, we want erect trees or shrubs. Pith, very large. Bark with large, raised, corky lenticels. Right, so you got to know what a lenticel is. This tree does not have them. Let me see if I can find an example of a lenticel. Okay, so this is a tree that has a good example of lenticels. These transverse or horizontal lines, and they're good for air exchange. There we go. Yeah, so our ash tree doesn't have that. This is a tree we'll cover later on. And this is in the elm family. Okay, so we're back at the key. Do we have corky lenticels? No. Are the fruits berry-like? And if you learn from experience, you would say no. This tree does not have berry-like leaves. I mean fruit. Excuse me. I'm trying to look to see if they have. This tree fruits early in the season, so I'm probably not going to find anything. Okay, leaflets, pith small, lenticels not conspicuously raised, fruit a samara. What's a samara? Well, you're probably all familiar with a samara. Okay, so this is a maple fruit. Here's a little nutlet there, and then a wing. It's a winged fruit. This is a samara. Right, and the ash tree has something very similar to this. You guys can look it up. Maybe I'll insert a picture. Right. Therefore, we're left with 2 options. Is this an acer, a maple, or is this fraxinus, which is what we're looking for? All right. The leaflets mostly 3 to 5. Yes. Lobed or coarsely serrate. This is not lobed. Leaflets mostly 3 to 5. Lobed or coarsely serrate. Twigs often glaucous. So yeah, these are not lobed, but they are coarsely serrate. However, the twigs, this rachis, is not glaucous. There's no material that comes off. Glaucous refers to a white or bluish, pale bluish or pale white covering, waxy covering on either a leaf or a stem or anything, really. This doesn't have that. Alright, so leaflets 5 to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Entire or finely serrate. Twigs not glaucous. Fraxinus. So these are not entire. Hold on, the airplanes again. These leaves are not entire. An entire leaf would have no teeth, no lobes. Well, it could have lobes, but an entire leaf would have a smooth margin. I'll show you an example of that later. Okay, so that takes us to Fraxinus, page 52. Here's the key to the Fraxinus. Are we going to have twigs that are acutely four-angled at internodes, or twigs that are circular, round, or obtusely angled? And if you look at this is quite round. There's no angling to it at all. This is terete. If I were to make a cross-section of it, you see that it's circular. So that takes us here, twigs and petioles pubescent, or twigs and petioles glabrous, or nearly so. All right, these happen to be glabrous. Twigs and petioles glabrous, or nearly so, are the leaflets commonly 10 or commonly 6. These are all in 6. Okay, and they happen to be, let's see if we get it. There you go. They happen to have almost no stalk, or almost sessile. Okay, well, that takes us to another part. Okay, lateral leaflets commonly 6. Leaflets elliptic, oval, or elliptic lanceolate. Okay, we go back to this key guide. All right, here. So here, 24. This is lanceolate, and this is elliptic. And it's asking us if the leaves appear to be a mix of the two. I would say so. All right. Consistent broadness until the end. So kind of like this, but with a little thin tip at the end. And so we would pick, where are we? Oh, that's the winter key. Leaflets elliptic lanceolate. Fraxinus pennsylvanica variety lanceolata. All right, if you want to know more about that, you go to the back of the book, look in the index. Where do you find Fraxinus? You call up your kindergarten skills and look for F, D, E, F. Okay, Fraxinus. Page 88, which happens to be my favorite number. All right. Okay, where is it? Okay. Family, Oleaceae. Okay, Oleaceae is the family, and Fraxinus pennsylvanica variety lanceolata. Here. Green ash. That's the common name. But no Fraxinus pennsylvanica. That's a better name. Green ash. Okay. And green ashes or ashes in general, are under attack by the ash borers. They're disappearing from our forests. Let's look for another tree. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here we have another tree. Let's see if I can get a good example of this. All right, you can tell right away it's palmately lobed. See the 3 main veins. Okay. Oh, it's got this nice fruit here. Okay, and there's another characteristic which isn't completely available to me right now, but let's try to key it out. All right, you have plants with leaves present, plants with broad leaves, or, well, we already established this is a broad leaf. Are the leaves opposite or whorled? Okay, take a look. It becomes a little bit difficult here. All right. There are the leaves. But, oh, they're all clustered. So what do we do? Well, let's look at the nodes. Where are the nodes? There's one. There's another one. There's another. And further up, The nodes are alternate, so we're going to go with alternate leaves. Okay. Leaves alternate, simple or compound? They are simple, page 13. Okay. Plants with alternate simple leaves. Leaves lobed. Yes, absolutely. Stems climbing or twining. No. This is a tree. Stems erect or prostrate. Trees or shrubs. Leaves broadly fan-shaped with more or less dichotomous branching. Actually, no. I can show you an example of that. All right, dichotomous, like the key, just means you have a split, but it always splits into two, and that's not what is the case here. Then we have an option. All right, so we go to the other number 7. Leaves and veins not as above. Angiosperms, absolutely. This is a flowering tree. I showed you the fruit. Leaves distinctly palmately lobed and veined. Yes. Plants with a milky sap or plants without a milky sap. All right, so we take a leaf and we crush it or we split it here. Okay, so here. There's nothing there. All right, this is not a milky sap, this is just water. And if it was a milky sap, it would have the color of milk or orangey or a little creamy colored. And that's not the case here. All right, so we have, where are we? The other 7. Plants without a milky sap. Leaves star-shaped, 5 to 7 lobed. Yes. Here's a nice. So here's the example of that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lobes. All right, and then it asks. Fruit, a long-stalked, spherical head of capsules. Yeah, I would say so. And that takes you to liquid ambar. Where is it? Liquid ambar styraciflua, the sweet gum. All right, this is a commonly planted street tree. It is also planted on campuses like this one, and it likes wetlands. So keep that in mind. So I'm walking over, and here's another example of that tree. You can spot it from a long way away just by the shape of the leaves. It's very pretty. All right, and sometimes the branches get these little ridges that protrude away, giving it like an angular appearance, but those would be corky ridges. And these cultivated varieties sometimes don't have it. The wild varieties do. But let's try to key out this one here, and you can see something I can reach easily. You can see this is a tree with broad leaves, and a special characteristic. This is a tip. The end of the leaf is truncate. It's flat. The arrangement of the leaves is alternate, and you have. Oh, look at this! Look at these. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Look at that. You have 2 bracts surrounding a bud, like valves, valvate buds. Okay, so let's go back. To start you out this time with plants with alternate simple leaves. Their leaves are not lobed. Well, yeah, they are lobed. They are lobed. Stems climbing? No. Stems erect or prostrate. Trees or shrubs. Leaves broadly fan-shaped. No, we discovered this is not a ginkgo, right? Ginkgos have that dichotomous branching of the veins. This does not have that. This is pinnately veined. Let me take a look. This is an angiosperm. Leaves distinctly palmately lobed and veined. No, it's just leaves pinnately lobed, or at least not distinctly pinnately lobed. So we go to 16. Leaves with 3 main veins from near the base. Well, that's not the case here either. All right, you just have one main vein and then secondary veins branching from that one. Leaves with one large main vein, a midrib, lobed variously. Well, it's definitely lobed. Leaves pinnately lobed, or leaves not pinnately lobed. Okay, I would say it has lobes, but it's not pinnately lobed. All right, the pinnately lobed will be more along the lines of this one, number 13. So it's not quite number 14, not quite 13, but it's more similar to 14. This is palmately lobed. Leaves not pinnately lobed. Leaves with a truncate apex. Yeah, I showed you that, right? Here it is again. Nice truncate apex. It's not a mistake. Nothing was torn off of these leaves. They're all the same. Okay. Truncate. And two broad lateral lobes on each side of the midrib. Oh yeah, definitely. Two broad lateral lobes. Okay. On each side of the midrib. Buds covered with by membranous stipules. That's one of the first things I showed you. Okay, look at that. Let's see. Okay. See, there's a bud right here. And here, these broad stipules. Look at that. There's a stipule. There's a stipule. Okay, so there are the stipules. Buds covered by membranous stipules. Liriodendron tulipifera. This is our tulip tree. Tulip tree. Alright, tulip trees are often characterized by having straight trunks. Go straight up and down. Alright, no curving, no branching that will take them in a different direction. So that's in the Magnoliaceae. There it is. Liriodendron tulipifera, the tulip tree, or yellow poplar. Magnoliaceae. Okay, so here's another one. This one's got some modeling or like a camouflage type of pattern on the tree trunk, and it's got these maple-like leaves. They have an alternate arrangement. Okay, so this is palmately lobed, simple, alternate. Let's go. Plants with alternate simple leaves. Leaves lobed, absolutely. Stems, no. Stems erect or prostrate trees or shrubs. Yep. It's not ginkgo, so we go to number 7. Leaves and veins, not as above. Angiosperms, leaves distinctly palmately lobed and veined. Yes. Plants with a milky sap. No, they don't have a milky sap. If you take a leaf off, what you notice, though, let's see if we can get this without dropping my phone. Okay, that's the base of the leaf petiole. No milky sap, but hollow. Okay. Plants without milky sap. Leaves star-shaped? No, we know it's not liquid amber. We just did that. Leaves not star-shaped. Mosquitoes, sorry. Base of petiole hollow, forming a hood over the lateral bud. Absolutely. Take a look at this. There's the bud. There's the bud, and the leaf petiole was covering it, hollow. Okay. Bark of trunk and branches peeling off in large plates. Fruit, suspended ball of hairy achenes. You know, the little itchy balls you guys used to play with when you were kids, hopefully. It's platinous. So here's the base of the tree, and you can see, of the trunk or mid trunk, you can see it's got that mottled look, like camouflage, because it peels. It peels. Now I can't seem to find any of the fruit on these trees that are here on campus. Maybe it's a bad year for them, or who knows what. Maybe later on. Okay, so the key asks, are the leaves longer than broad? Or sorry, the lobes, are they longer than broad? No, they're not extending far out here. All right, they're pretty truncated. Well, not truncated, but they're pretty close to the midline. So that takes us leaves, lobes of leaves not longer than broad, flower heads 1 or 2, rarely 3, yeah, on a pendulous stalk. So flower heads mostly solitary, or are they mostly 2? Is the middle lobe of leaf about as long as wide? Okay, is this as long as it is wide? Just about. This is a better example. Okay. And I think I found some fruit, which, if I can zoom up on it, I don't know with this phone, it's too high up there, but they are indeed mostly 2 on long stalks. And that takes us to Platanus acerifolia. Okay, so you can see 2 little dots. This is as close as I can get to it. It's too high up there, but those are a pair of fruit. And I'll put up a picture. Platanus acerifolia, the London plane, all right, which is a hybrid of Platanus occidentalis and orientalis. Occidentalis being our native, mostly in the west. Look at this. Lamb's quarters, Chenopodiaceae, goosefoot family. The leaves kind of look like they have a goose foot. Like they have the shape of a goose's foot. It's very common weed. And you can see those purple striations. Okay, Chenopodium album. Chenopodiaceae. I'm gonna cover this one, which is a tree with big, round, hard fruit. All right, and I showed you an example of what the fruit looked like after the squirrels are done with it. It's just a husk. Okay. This is one leaf of the plant. They're falling already, so they're not going to last long through the fall. Okay. And what I've got here is a tree with alternate arrangement of the leaves. Alternate, one here, one there, one there. Alternate compound leaves. Okay, plants with leaves present, plants with broad leaves, not needle-like. This is not a pine tree. Leaves opposite or whorled? No, leaves alternate. They're not simple, they're compound. That takes us to key 5, page 23. So, are the leaves bi or tripinnately compound? Absolutely not. Here, take a look at this. Okay, this is once compound. You have the rachis and one leaflet. If it was twice compound, this midvein would be split into smaller leaflets, such as you would find, or as you can see, such as you can see in this example, number 9. That's twice compound. and it could be trice compound 3 times, right? But we're looking at something like number 6. So leaves, 1's compound. Leaflets 3? No, it's got a lot more than that. Leaflets more than 3. Leaves palmately? No, it doesn't look like the palm of your hand, all right? It looks like a pinnate arrangement. Leaflets more than 3. Leaves palmately compound? Again, no. Leaves pinnately compound? Absolutely. Okay, so the next question is, are the buds hidden? And they are not, as you can see. Here you can see the buds. Alright, if I can't get in focus. Alright, anyway. So you have lateral buds hidden? No. Let's go to the next 16. Lateral buds evident. Not embedded under or surrounded by the base of the petiole. That's correct. Leaflets tipped with hard spines. There are no spines on this tree. Leaflets not tipped with spines. Okay, so we go to number 22. Leaflets not tipped with spines. Spines or thorns present? No, it's not. Spines and thorns and prickles absent. Margin of leaves entire? Absolutely not. Okay, take a look. Those are what we can call cerulate. That's a better example. Serrate to cerulate. Not entire. So it's not that 26. We have to find the other 26. Margin of leaflets not entire. Leaflets with glands on the lower surface. No, this one has no characteristics on the lower surface that look like dots or growths of any kind. Leaflets without glands. Fruit, not a samara. Okay, that's true. We know what a samara is. Like, think the maple fruit. This is not it. I showed you the fruit. This is a big, hard fruit. Round, spherical. Okay, does the base of the petiole clasp the twig? In other words, does the base of the petiole go around the twig? And it does not. Okay, it does not. It ends. The base of the petiole do not reach around the twig and touch each other. Okay, base of petiole not clasping the twig. Wood, not yellow. True. Okay, stipules present or stipules absent? And remember, the stipules are like little leaves growing by the bud. There's nothing there. So we go to number 34. Stipules absent. Leaves often glandular, hairy, but not red. Fruit, a nut. Yes, if I were to take that fruit and open it up, I would find a hard nut on the inside, but I can't reach it, so I can't do that for you right now. All right. And pith chambered husk of nut indehiscent. That means, will the husk of the nut break open along a preformed line? The answer is no. It's completely smooth all around. There's no opening, no obvious point of opening. So that takes away Caria. Caria, it does the Hess. Those are hickories. We're left with juglans, which are the walnuts. So you see that ladder-like pattern on the inside of the twig? That's the pith, and it's chambered. Pith chambered. All right. If it wasn't chambered, you wouldn't see anything like that. Okay, so that takes us to page 54. Juglans, walnuts, and butternuts. Summer key. Margin of leaves entire. No, it's not entire. Margin of leaflets serrate. Yeah. Let's go to number 2. Leaves smooth and glossy above. Are they smooth or are they somewhat pubescent? Look at the leaf scar. Does it have a hairy fringe? Okay. And the pith we know is light brown, bark light brown and rough. Yes. Hold on. Let's take a look at the leaf scars. Okay, so here's a leaf scar. The point of dehiscence for the leaf. This is where the leaf would drop. And I looked at it under the scope. It does not have any hairs. Okay. Here's a close-up of the twig, and you can see it has fine hairs on it. So that's pubescent. And the leaves themselves, the leaflets, are glabrous. No pubescence at all. Alright, so we have leaves smooth and glossy above, leaf scars without a hairy fringe, yes, along the upper margin. Pith light brown, bark light brown and rough. Juglans nigra, the black walnut. Alright, so here are the fruit of this black walnut. You can recognize this is without the husk. The squirrels got to it and they took out the nut, the juicy nut or the fatty nut. Okay, and like I was showing you before, here's the evidence of the squirrels doing their work. Is the bark of the tree. Well, anyway, that's all I have for today. Let me get off campus before I get exposed to anything. All right, bye.